Hi everyone, Salome here. Thanks for joining. Finally, I'm recording the video. It has been a long time since I've done the video. I prefer to upload shorts here and there, but I really like to have the yearly record of the best, worst, and so films. I watch a lot of films. Actually, I watch everything, and I enjoy entertainment films. I enjoy documentaries. I don't have like preferred genre. However, my taste goes to independent cinema, just so you know. So that's why for me the best film is still the auteur film, the film that comes from the minds of an individual person. So let's set the record straight and talk about best, worst, and so films of 2024. So far, I have 22 films. So I've been able to watch 22 films, and these are diverse films. You will find here independent films, mass-pleasing films, commercial projects, documentaries, and so on. Out of these 22 films that I have watched so far, I think, in my personal opinion, that 10 of them are so films, just one-time watch. 7 of them are bad, the worst of the worst, and 4 are the best of the best. And I decided to start from the worst, then cover so, and then cover 4 best films. I don't want to talk about all of them in one video because I know that it's gonna be a lot. So let's start from the worst of the worst films, and just consider that it's based on my personal taste. So the first worst film from my list is Emilia, Pérez, and it's actually a nominee of Oscar, which I totally get why they selected this film because it hits all the political points. Personally, I think that Emilia, Pérez is such a poor film because it is just dry, it's predictable, it is using the subject of transgender women's journey on such a superficial layer that I cannot even express. I love the subject and I like the intention behind it. I totally can see it, but the execution and the form and the style that they did it, it is just so, I can say, wrong. First of all, it is too direct. This film is full of cliches and stereotypes over transgender, not only transgender people, but also stereotypes about Mexicans, stereotypes about transformation. A film doesn't work if you use literal stereotypes. It is just automatically repetitive, it is cliche, and you won't get the transcendental experience that you are aiming. And instead of empathy and compassion, you will get a pity. And when the audience feels pitiful and tearful because of cliches, that's not catharsis. That is just bad cinema. So that's why Emilia, Pérez for me is bad cinema, even though I love Zoe Saldana and I think the cast was not bad at all. But the script and performance, it was just for me a recorded show, you know? If it was a musical, I think it would be a better form. But to make a musical and just record it, you need a bit more. A good example of the great musical, which is doing everything that Emilia Pérez is not doing, is a film Annette by Carax. with Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard. I really recommend you to watch that film if you like musicals. So, Emilia Pérez is a big no for me. Another worst film for me is The Room Next Door by Pedro Almodóvar. I know Almodóvar has a big fan base. For me, he's not my director at all. I like his earliest works, like 2-3 films, the first films he made, but everything after that, I think every year he's getting worse and worse. And great casting doesn't help because, once again, like in Emilia Pérez, everything is too literal, too direct. No mystery is left for the audience. And although I have to give credits where it has to be given, Pedro Almodóvar does beautiful imagery. The colors, the casting, I mean, you can watch it and the imagery is good. Here, the cast is top. Tilda Swinton, what? I love her. And Julianne Moore, goddesses. However, we go to independent filmmakers to surprise us, to get our thought process going, and not to say, oh yeah, this is that, that is that. You know what I mean? It is too predictable. It is too telenovela and soap opera-like. And I like soap operas and I like telenovelas, but when they don't have the ambition of independent cinema, you know? I was raised in Georgia, and in my teen years, all I was watching was Brazilian, Latino soap operas and telenovelas. So I can see the telenovela script when I see one. And Almodóvar is a telenovela filmmaker. I don't understand the vibe. I respect his art, but I'm saying that for me it's too cliche, it's too direct, and too sentimental. I mean, some scenes I was so embarrassed. It was painful for me to watch some kitschy scenes. But anyway, I will check his work next year as well, because overall, I support all filmmakers. This critique comes from love, you know, it's just my taste. Okay, the third worst film for me was Nosferatu by Robert Eggers. Again, Robert Eggers is not my director, but every time I watch director's work, I leave all my thoughts behind. I always give directors a clean slate, you know? I know that we already have seen Nosferatu, the great Nosferatu, by Murnau, and another Nosferatu by Herzog, and I love both of them. So I was expecting something different. I wasn't expecting, you know, like a whole different story, because Nosferatu and Dracula, they are what they are. I mean, it is one story, one storyline. But, of course, every time you can do things in a different way, in a way which has a bit of a twist. Maybe not at all, but I know that a lot of people would say that, oh, Salome, in Nosferatu, in 2024, Eggers did a twist by making this, like, sex, horror, psychotic twist, but for me it is not innovative at all. Actually, it is not even too graphic, but it's graphic in a way of devoid of authenticity. I like graphic context when it is earned. When the performance of actors was not even mediocre, I think. So for me, Nosferatu was a fail, but I was really looking forward to see it because I loved I even loved the Dracula film. Another worst film was Wicked by Jon M. Oh my god, Wicked was a mixture of bad remake of Wizard of Oz, and also a combination of Harry Potter World Meets Wednesday series, and someone shaked it and made a cocktail of the Wicked or Wicked. It was just, I mean, for me, it was a torture to watch it. And I love fantasy and fairy tale films. Like, I'm a fan of Harry Potter. I like this fantasy genre. I even watched Fantastic Beasts, but whatever. However, Wicked is such a lazy script. You cannot just be influenced by Harry Potter and Wednesday and this type of successful franchises and make something based on that. You have to really make an original film to live on its own, for the film to live on its own. And I'm surprised that this film has many admirers, but it is what it is. Another worst film is Challengers by Luca Guadagnino. I don't know why Luca Guadagnino is such a highly critically acclaimed filmmaker. I really want to watch his film Queer as well, but Challengers, in spite of the fact that I was expecting a bit more, I didn't expect that it would be so bad. The casting was great. The intention, I can see, was not bad, but oh my god, the movie is just, first and foremost, Luca Guadagnino uses the soundtrack on such a high volume when his lead characters have a dialogue and they talk to each other. I found it really disrespectful. I have to admit that Challengers probably has the best soundtrack of the year. I mean, this track is so good. I have the whole album of soundtracks of Challengers. I like it so much. But in the film, this soundtrack was overused, and I swear to God, every 20 minutes or even 15 minutes, this soundtrack was playing in high volume. So I could not hear the characters talk to each other. Maybe it's some kind of cinematic technique or a trick, or it's a metaphor for Guadagnino. But there are things that you don't do. Like, you don't overuse soundtrack to speak for the images. The sound is there to just intensify and extend the images, not to serve as a feeling on its own. So, Gladiator 2 by Ridley Scott. Oh my god, where do I begin? Why is it bad? It is such a simple story. I mean, okay, I love Denzel Washington. Okay, one thing I loved is Denzel, and I love Denzel in this role. Okay, that's good, but it's not enough, of course. Script is so poorly written. I mean, couldn't just they write a better script with this budget, with Pedro Pascal and Paul Mescal? I mean, the cast is so good. It only needed a mediocre script and it would be fine. It would be more than fine. It would be fantastic. But this script was so bad that I became bored. And the soundtrack was, compared to the first one, the soundtrack was just such a poor mix. Yeah, so for me, Gladiator and Wicked are the worst of the worst from this list. So guys, please take this review with a pinch of salt, because these are only my thoughts and opinions. Every year I watch a lot of films, so 7 bad films out of 22 is not bad for me at all, because usually the bad films are more. But I think it's because I put 10 films in a so-so category, because if it is a bit better than the worst, I don't even dare to call it bad, because it is so difficult to make a film. It's so difficult to make a film. Sometimes the intention is, most of the time, the intention is so much more better than your final project, because of many things. Please comment what is your best and worst film of the year. Maybe the best, and I will try to watch it. Have a great day, guys. Bye.